This is PJNET.TV, and this is my perspective and comments. In this video segment of My Perspective and Comments, we cover politics, society here and abroad, and the events of the day that are shaping our nation. PJNET.TV, My Perspective and Comment, coming to you with a worldview, one nation under God. Welcome to My Perspective and Comments. And I guess I want to start out right now and talk a bit about the Biden economy and what we have been seeing and living through over these 14 plus months under this administration and their policies that have got us to this point right now. And we're seeing stresses on every aspect of our economy. Let's start out with, let's ask the question, is this what Democrats voted for? Is this the result of their vote? That expectation that we would be here right now? Would they, if they knew then what we're living through now, would they have voted for this guy? But, we have the crisis in the energy sector, and prices are going through the roof. A gallon of gas skyrocketing, out of control, with no end in sight. And that's not, and we don't want to forget about diesel because integral. I mean, let me ask you this: what is some of the major areas that use diesel? Trucks. And what do trucks do? They deliver the product to the, you name it. You name what store, grocery store, department store. Just name a store that's open right now, and typically it's coming in via a truck. Also, can't forget about the trains. What do they use? Diesel. And, we're talking about, transporting from the East Coast to the West Coast to the North to the South on rails. And you've probably seen pictures of the bottleneck that we see out in the ocean or right on shore as they're trying to unload these containers full of product, but they can't get them moved. And what do the cranes that take those containers off the ship and put them on a chassis to be pulled away to whatever store in whatever part of the country? Those cranes also are powered by diesel. So again, we see the energy debacle, another area where Biden has weakened our nation and put our nation in a perilous position, because these prices are hurting families, hurting individuals, and putting a squeeze on, okay, how do I adjust and make my dollar go a little bit further? And again, adding to inflation. As we're seeing the result of this Biden economy. But food prices. Just go to the store and try and buy some groceries, and what a change we've seen. Skyrocketing. Another area that's going out of control. Go to the department store and now you're smacked into reality, realizing that your buying power is diminished, and everything you look in a department store right now, and you're seeing prices that were one price 3 months ago, and it's up right now. And again, another area where therefore economists are saying we're not going to see any relief and any resolution here in the immediate future. That's not going to happen. And if it wasn't bad enough, these ballooning prices, now we're seeing you go to the stores, in some of these stores, and the shelves are bare. Another issue where the product, it can't get it, and this is a major problem. And hey, right now, what's happening? Families trying to go out, they've got an infant to care for, and try and buy baby formula. They're having some concerns regarding that. So again, the Biden economy, a failure. One failure after another. And, we can go right back to, when he stepped in his first day in office, and he was tearing XL pipeline and going after energy. And now where are we? We need energy. That's what is allowing us we would be able to fight some of these inflationary situations if we had a strong and vibrant energy like we had under President Trump. But we don't now. We were energy independent, and under this guy, we're no longer energy independent, and a nation is affected drastically because of it. So again, we have a situation where our nation is struggling, and it goes right to the guy in the White House. And what is he doing? Blaming everybody and their brother. It's their fault. It's Putin. It's Trump. It's the Republican Party won't pass his Build Back Better plan, which is only a more spending, which is going to which would put our economy even more in inflationary situation. So again, everything this guy that comes out of his mouth, when it does come out coherently, is in the wrong direction. And I believe the American people have figured out that we really are seeing incompetence in the White House, and they're not falling for this. Oh, he did it. It's his fault. Oh, it's Putin. It's everybody but Biden and his policies. So we have this situation here that we're struggling right now, and at this point, we're not seeing the end in sight here under this leadership. And right now, I believe we will see a major correction in November. But again, higher prices, inflationary situations as far as your dollar isn't going as far, and your buying power is nosediving. I'd like at this point, I'd like to shift a little gear here and talk about another area that's been in the news, and I just would like us to maybe just dwell on this right now. I think we really need to get more leaders to evaluate where we are and what are we doing in Ukraine. And is the military using, we're hearing more and more stories about, Biden, our military helped out Ukraine as far as attacking Russian troops. Now that wasn't what that isn't what we were told, that our military was not going to get involved. But what I'm hearing out of Biden's mouth is that the military is getting involved, and that sure sounds like an area where we need to step back and say, wait a minute, we want to help supply the necessary weaponry. But U.S. troops were not supposed to be, or our military were not supposed to be getting involved. So these things need to be talked through, and they haven't. And, we see a lot of these politicians jumping on the bandwagon, but I've heard some other leaders that have said, wait a minute. What about the crisis that we have going on right now that we're not dealing with? What am I talking about? The southern border. We have an invasion going on, and nobody is they're talking about 40 billion to Ukraine. What about the United States southern border, where we have terrorists coming across, where we have fentanyl that's killing our young people, killing many people, not just young people, but you name it. And right now, what I've heard this past week is that some of these pills that people, opioid things that they would take that wasn't killing them, killing people outright 5 years ago, now are. Why? Because they're putting fentanyl in almost anything, lacing it with these pills, putting fentanyl in. And so you get a young person to come that takes this one pill, thinking nothing of it, and he's dead. This is an invasion, and we have these drug cartels that are making millions, up to billions, bringing this poison into our nation. And 40 billion, what about our people? What about the Americans that are dying because of these drugs? What about the trafficking that's taking place? But everything is Ukraine. How about the United States? And how about getting a plan on stopping what we're seeing at the southern border right now? And that is a question, and that's a conversation and a debate that the politicians, leaders need to get one thing straight here. Yeah, we want to support Ukraine, but we have a crisis taking place at the southern border, and we need to do something about it because it's killing people, and it has to be dealt with. I mean, we don't know who's coming across the southern border, and I'm hearing a lot that we may have terrorists coming right on in, and we could be facing a very devastating situation with when we have enemies of this that want to take down America flooding in the southern border. What I like to do right now is we've got a few clips here. One, we're going to start with a clip with Senator Kennedy has a few words to say regarding our inflation, what's taking place with the economy and inflation. Also, we're going to be hearing from Congressman Chip Roy, and he's going to be discussing what I just mentioned here with Ukraine and the priorities of $40 billion, and can that money, some of that money, should be being directed towards the crisis that we're seeing on the southern border. Also, Tucker Carlson has a take and to share regarding Ukraine, and a lot of these people right now that have sounded the alarm when it comes to Ukraine and how far are we getting entangled in this war. They're being blasted as you're against America if you don't go ho, let's go, whatever Ukraine needs, if it's 40 billion, 50, 60, and our military is ready to help. Well, like I said, we need to talk. There needs to be, the leaders need to come together and say, hey, wait a minute, we need to get a handle on what are we doing, and are we getting entangled in a mess that could escalate. Also going to hear Rand Paul is going to be talking a bit about this Ministry of Truth czar out of the DHS, and some of the untruths that we've heard coming from the very the ones that want to censor speech. So we've got I've got a few clips here for you to take a look at, and what's been going on in our nation. And I just want to leave off right now and say, I don't know about you, but what I've seen over the last several days, it's, Satan is angry, and we saw that evidenced, that outcry, the mob that has gathered around the nation regarding the Supreme Court and the decision, or the leaked decision on where the court is leaning when it comes to Roe versus Wade, and protecting life. And what we, looking at that angry mob, all I could think of when I saw the things that were happening in front of the justices' homes, what we saw in the churches, and even a firebomb there, a pro-life center, I believe in Wisconsin, had for Molotov cocktail thrown in and fire. So we see violence happening too. But all I could think of is the mob outside of Lot's house, screaming and yelling, "We want those men, bring them out." That same type of evil spirit that we saw, the evil that we saw there at Lot's, the mob that was outside of Lot's house, and we're seeing a similar evil that's taking place right now in front of those churches, or in front of the justices' homes. So right now we're going to take a look at some video clips here of what has been going on in the nation, and some of the decisions that have been debated over the last several days. Here, take a look.